Hey, my name is Nick. I'm a music producer. I make music under the name Reach. I make different kinds of music, but I'm currently most notable for my works on Monster Cat. And I've got a degree in music production and poured about 11 years of my life into creating music. And with that being said, I learn new things about music pretty much every day of my life, and I continue to make music consistently, spending hours inside Ableton Live almost every week. And if you've been sent this video, it's probably because you want to start producing yourself, and your friend who's maybe already seen this video thought it would help. And if that's the case, welcome. I hope this answers a few of your early questions, whether you're looking to start your journey or you've already recently started your journey. Finding your sound. Finding a sound can seem like a daunting task, but in reality, your sound is the last thing you should realistically be conscious about. I say this because your sound will naturally arise based on what you like and the habits you develop over the course of your musical journey. So, style and sound is generally an afterthought when it comes to creating music, because over your time creating music, you'll develop things that you just enjoy hearing more than others. Therefore, it's not really a conscious decision the way your sound develops. How long will it take you to get good? This is something a lot of people ask, and it's a question I personally had when I started my production journey 11 years ago. Obviously, everyone wants to be amazing from day one, but that's unrealistic, and I know you know that's unrealistic as well. The answer is, well, it's complicated. How fast you get better is totally based on how fast you learn. If you're a fast learner, well, then you're in luck, because it should take you a fraction of the time to get better, based on your own standards. But if you're a slow learner, it can take you a bit longer to grasp the basics. But nevertheless, we're talking years for both scenarios. Whether you're a slow learner or a fast learner, you need to be in it for the long run. If I had to give a minimum amount of time to being able to make a song consistently to the standard of your liking, I would say around 2 to 3 years is a good middle point. Do I need to know music theory? No, you don't need to know music theory to be a good producer, but that doesn't mean it doesn't help. Knowing music theory, I would say, is akin to having a book of secret spells that you can get out in a bad situation if you don't know why your normal spells aren't working. You have a song that sounds like something is off and you don't know why. It's probably because it's out of key or some other mixing problem. But what specifically is the problem is out of your scope of knowledge if you don't know music theory. So now you have to spend about 10 or 20 minutes trying to figure out which note in your melody or chord progression is wrong, when if you knew music theory from the beginning, you'd quickly be able to see which note is incorrect with your eyes rather than your ears and adjust for that accordingly. That being said, I personally know a decent amount of music theory, but I didn't know it at all when I first started. Brushing up on music theory and going to college for production has solidified some music theory in my subconscious at this point, and I'm generally now pretty good at finding those problem notes. Even if I don't fully grasp music theory, knowing a little bit of it went a long way. Are using samples in my songs bad? No, using samples is not bad. That's the bottom line. But there are some cases where using too many samples will make you less reliable as a producer. What do I mean by this? There are many cases where samples can make it harder for you to learn what you need to learn to be consistent in your productions. Samples can be seen to many as a shortcut or a source of inspiration, but if you're not able to make the sounds and the samples you're using on your own and aren't taking the time to learn how they were made, you may not be able to accurately recreate something that you have made previously, or again in the song itself. If you're a dubstep producer and you only use growl samples for all your growls, then you couldn't possibly recreate that growl at a later date without that sample, making your ability to remake your own song impossible without the knowledge or know-how to make that sample yourself. Same can be said about an electric piano chord progression or something. If you couldn't make that yourself, then you aren't learning how to be a better producer. You're taking a shortcut to a song, but there's no shortcuts to learning how to be better at your job as a producer. Except for watching this video, of course. Now we travel to the 1800s, where the age-old question, what is the best DAW? There is none. This argument all comes down to aesthetics and utility/workflow that you enjoy yourself. With that being said, Ableton Live is the best DAW. Based on what I've just said, if you have the question, I use blank as my DAW, but I want to switch to blank, what should I do? In response, I would say, do what you feel is comfortable. If you feel like you enjoy producing more on FL Studio or Logic or whatever DAW you use over Ableton, do that, or vice versa. At the end of the day, it's more important to be familiar with the basics of production than the DAW you're specifically using. All DAWs generally do the same thing, and a good producer can make a song in any of them given they had enough time to learn where everything is inside of that DAW. In conclusion, becoming a modern day producer is a journey that I recommend everyone embark on. It's a journey that you continue to appreciate for the rest of your life. The language of music transcends all borders and countries. It is something that everyone can relate to regardless of race, gender, or ideology. The journey is hard, nerve-wracking, extremely frustrating, but also extremely satisfying, a feeling that almost nothing in life can give you. Did I mention if you get really good at it, you can make money doing it? But make sure you continue to do it ultimately because you enjoy the act of making music, and the finished product of each of your creations should be your reward. A final send-off to the thing you spent hours of blood, sweat, and tears. I hope after hearing all this, you're more inspired to follow your dream and to embark on this journey for yourself. Or if you've already started, good luck.